Hi, I'm Megan McNerney from Temple Update. Today we're joined by John Oates. Thank you for joining us today.
Oh, it's nice to be here.
So you're back at Temple. How does it feel?
It feels great to come back to Philadelphia in general. Temple has changed so much since the time I was a student here, but it's great. I'm really looking forward to being part of this, and meeting all the people and seeing all the incredible improvements on the campus, and it's pretty exciting.
What were you doing when you were here?
I was a journalism student. I was a radio, television, and film, just kind of like you, except I wasn't very good at it. I was better at music, and thank God I stuck to the right path. But I've always liked writing, and that's why I became a journalism major. Writing has always come easy to me, whether it's music, prose, whatever. And so I just gravitated to it. I didn't want to be a music student, and I just thought it made the most sense.
So then you decided to live the dream and just go for it. Thank God it worked out, right?
Well, yeah, thank God it worked out. No, from the day I arrived at Temple, I never did anything but music. I spent my days on campus doing classes and muddling through, basically. But at night I would be playing. I'd be playing in coffee houses and folk clubs and with rock bands and all sorts of things. So it was kind of like living two lives. But I did graduate, and my experience here in the journalism department I think was important for my writing in general.
Why is that?
Well, because when you're a journalism student, especially in the old days, because journalism was focused on print, because there wasn't anything else, you learned how to be concise, how to tell a story in a very coherent but really compact manner. And I think pop songwriting, lyrics, have a lot to do with that same discipline. And so I've actually carried a lot of those things that I learned in my journalism experience into the way I approach some of my lyric writing.
If you weren't into music, do you think you would have went into print journalism?
I have no idea. I can't answer that question because I've been a musician ever since I've been a baby. Yeah. So. How
has your music evolved over the years?
Oh, well, you don't have enough time. It's evolved. Okay, I'll make it simple. It's evolved as I've evolved as a person. Mm-hmm. When I was a kid, I wrote kid songs. When I was in my 20s and 30s, I wrote pop songs that 20s and 30s people like. Now I'm really old, and I write things that really old people like. No, I'm kidding. I write things that are much more mature. I think I'm more interested in mature subjects. I'm interested in things that are more provocative lyrically. I'm not writing about going to the club. That kind of stuff doesn't interest me because it's not part of my world. I'm writing about personal relationships and things like that.
So that's how you stay current. You've kind of evolved as you age, and your fans have kind of come with you.
Well, yeah, and interestingly enough, our fans have gotten younger. And I think it's the power of good songwriting. Good songwriting can transcend generations. It can transcend time, because when you speak a universal truth, and I don't want to sound too highfalutin and hippy-dippy, it resonates with people of all ages because it's universal. And that's what you try to do as a songwriter. Your yardstick should be, that's where your yardstick should be. Is it going to stand the test of time? And fortunately for Daryl and I, our songs have been standing the test of time for 30 and 40 years. And so, that's why we're still here.
I know that you have a MySpace and a Facebook and a Twitter. That stuff wasn't around when you started.
No.
How do you adapt to all of those changes?
I hire someone. Seriously, I don't do any of that. I hate it.
Have you even tried?
Oh, I don't care about that. Oh, it's horrible. I keep telling people I want less friends. I don't want more friends. So to me, the idea of having more friends as a status symbol is really weird to me. I want less friends, but just really good ones. I have got a guy who does my Twitter, MySpace, and all that, and my Facebook. But you know what? Now everybody will turn off to me because they know it's not me talking to them, but I really don't care about that either, which is really cool because when you get old, you start not caring about stuff like that.
So what advice do you have for aspiring musicians who are growing up in this crazy media frenzy world?
You have to embrace it, and you have to incorporate it into your music and your life because it is what's real. It is the only thing that is real. And so yes, you have to do everything you can to engage your audience and keep them with you because there's too much other stuff going on that is just people don't have I think that the whole viral world has created a mentality of constantly having to be, it's almost like feeding the beast. constantly has to be renewed and you know, re-evaluated. And people don't have the attention span anymore that they used to have to concentrate on music or you or, you know, or your career. So you have to constantly be hitting them with something. So it's a whole different way of looking at things. And I work with a lot of younger artists, and I see the challenges that they are trying to you know, overcome and how they're doing it. So it's interesting. And even for me, I think, how am I going to get, you know, my recorded material out and have anyone pay attention to it with this world that's constantly changing every few seconds?
Mm-hmm. You're on tour now. I know that's a really big thing for you. What's next? What's after this?
Well, it never ends. It's the tour that never ends. It honestly is the truth. I love playing live, and I do it whether I'm playing with Daryl. I mean, I play a lot with Daryl over the course of a year, and then in between, I did over 100 solo shows last year, and I did about 40 with Daryl. So I just like, I mean, that's the way you, like right now I'm in the mode where I'm writing new songs, and what I'm really excited about is playing new songs for people, and seeing what the reaction is. And then I learn what works, what doesn't work, how to you know, change those songs. So that's kind of the mode I'm in right now.
What's your favorite song of all the songs you've ever written? Do you have one?
Louie Louie. No, I'm just kidding. Well, of the Hall & Oates songs, you mean?
Mm-hmm. Or songs you've individually
Well,
written?
I mean, my new songs, I think, are some of the best songs I've ever written in my life, and I'm trying not to sound too immodest, but I really believe in them. And I play them for people, and people have actually come up to me after the show saying, wow, I love the old Hall & Oates hits, but these new songs are really good. So that's very, very encouraging. But my favorite Hall & Oates song, and I think favorite song of all time that I've done is She's Gone, because it has stood the test of time since 1972. It still I mean, it was on The Voice last night.
Yeah.
Crazy. I mean, and no one even told me. I got all these emails from people and texts telling me it was on. So that just goes to show you the power of a good song.
Yeah, how do you feel when your songs are on The Voice or still play on the radio or American Idol?
It's incredible. I mean, I never would have dreamed that I'd be in this position today, 40 years later, with music that we created back in the early 70s still being vital and still people caring about it. But here again, that's what songwriting is all about. That's where you set the bar. If you can achieve that, you've done it.
I'm sure if you've been around campus at all today, you've seen the big Temple Made signs. Temple Made is Temple's big campaign for this year. What makes you Temple Made?
Well, I'm a product of Philadelphia, and I'm a product of the Philadelphia music scene, and had I not gone to Temple, I never would have experienced that. Interestingly enough, when I was in high school, I looked at a few other state schools around Pennsylvania, the fact that I went to Temple changed my life because I met Daryl here. Had I not done that, who knows where I would have been. So I am Temple Made. There you go.
Awesome. Thank you very much.